You have the spirit of a leader, pleasant corners, and I admire that. But do you really think Talmud Gains and Animations is doing any better? Think of all the time we've spent waiting to compete. The promise of $1 million dangling over our heads. We're dying to get started.
Well, why didn't you say so? Hush now, I'm talking. It's time for Cake at Steak.
Cake at Steak.
Get into your teams, people. Green Bulls, you lost last time, so you do the Cake at Steak. I'm 2022 Ram 1500 Laramie, and I'll be the Cake at Steak host this season. If you get cake, that means you're safe. If you don't, you will be eliminated. For the first elimination, we got a total of 15 votes, which is a pretty good start to this first elimination. And whoever has the fewest amount of votes will leave the show.
I thought it was whoever got the most votes.
Well, we're changing it up. Anyways, Hackettstown, with the highest votes of all of them, at 9, you are the first one safe.
I can live with that.
Zimmer, with 4 votes, you are safe.
Yes.
Blacklick Estates is safe with 2 votes.
All right.
Now, we have a bit of a problem. 3 of you are safe, but 9 of you did not get any votes. So what we're going to do is we're going to spin the wheel. Here's how this is going to work. The 9 people who are not safe yet have a slice on this wheel. And whatever the wheel lands on, they will be eliminated. And that person just so happens to be... And the wheel has chosen. Obets, you are the first person eliminated from Vyond competition.
Quick, Amity. Activate the elimination prevention plan.
Where did he go?
So, you know where 4 had an exit in BFB's pre-split?
No?
Well, that's where Obets is right now. Cool, huh?
Let's teleport somewhere else for the third contest. There we go. The third contest is a quiz show. Each team must answer every question. If you give me a right answer, you earn 60 points. If you give me a wrong answer, you lose 30 points. Whichever team gets most of the questions right wins the challenge. Let's get started. Question 1. What U.S. president appeared on the television series Laugh-In?
Richard Nixon.
Correct. Nixon appeared on the comedy show while he was on the campaign trail in 1968. Question 2. The Earth is approximately how many miles away from the Sun?
93 million.
Correct. The Earth is approximately 93 million miles away from the Sun. Question 3. What insect shorted out an early supercomputer and inspired the term computer bug?
Moth.
Correct. A moth was found inside the computer of scientist Grace Hopper. Question 4. What man does not have a chemical element named for him?
Niels Bohr, Isaac Newton.
Correct. Isaac Newton was a man who had no element named for him. Question 5. What landlocked country is entirely contained within another country?
Lesotho.
Correct. The country of Lesotho is completely surrounded by South Africa. Question 6. In 1912, former US President Theodore Roosevelt was a candidate for which political party?
Bull Moose.
Correct. In 1912, former US President Theodore Roosevelt was a candidate for Bull Moose. Question 7. What tribe of Native Americans lived in the immediate Chicago area?
The Potawatomi.
Correct. The Potawatomi lived along the shores of Lake Michigan in northern Illinois and Indiana. The Iroquois lived further east, the Cherokee were in the southeast, and the Shawnee were in southern Ohio and Kentucky. Question 8. Chicago is an Indian word from which the name of the city is derived. What does the word mean?
Wild leek or skunk cabbage.
Correct. Chicago is translated as wild leek or skunk cabbage from the abundance of such plants which grew in the area. Initially, the term applied to the river, but the city acquired the name. Question 9. What is unique about the Chicago River?
It flows out of Lake Michigan.
Correct. The Chicago River flows out of Lake Michigan, which is a definite reversal since most rivers flow into larger bodies of water. After the Chicago fire in 1871, by a tremendous engineering feat, the river was dredged and its current was actually reversed. It connects by canal to the Illinois River, which flows into the Mississippi River, allowing for water commerce from the Great Lakes to the Gulf of Mexico. Question 10. What was the name of the fort built on the Chicago River in pioneer days?
Fort Dearborn.
Correct. Fort Dearborn was built on the side of Chicago very early. It stood on the Chicago River in the heart of what is now downtown Chicago. Question 11. Chicago has the distinction of building the first of what type of building?
Steel frame skyscraper.
Correct. Chicago saw the creation of the first steel frame skyscraper, the Home Insurance Building, completed in 1885, towering an astounding 9 stories tall. Chicago did open subways in the 1940s, but they had existed in New York City much longer. Question 12. Speaking of buildings, which skyscraper, when completed in 1973, became the tallest building in Chicago?
Sears Tower.
Correct. The Sears Tower overshadows any other skyscraper in the city. Hancock Center and the Aon Center are very tall, taller than most of the other buildings in the downtown Loop area, but Sears Tower is taller. Before these towering buildings were built, the Chicago Board of Trade was the tallest building in the city. Question 13. Chicago has a beautiful park of 1,200 acres which stretches along Lake Michigan on the north side. What is the name of this park?
Lincoln Park.
Correct. Chicago has a terrific system of city parks, and much greenery is to be had. Lincoln Park is the largest, extending through several neighborhoods along Lake Michigan. The park is 1,200 acres and contains facilities for all types of recreation, including the Lincoln Park Zoo, one of the few zoos in the United States which charges no admission. The zoo was known for having the largest gorilla in captivity, Bushman, some years ago. Question 14. A section of which Chicago Street is known as the Magnificent Mile?
Michigan Avenue.
Correct. A section of Michigan Avenue, from the Chicago River Bridge to where Michigan Avenue joins Lakeshore Drive, is known as the Magnificent Mile. The avenue is lined with swank hotels and exclusive shops. One landmark in the area is the old Chicago Water Tower, a survivor of the Chicago fire of 1871 since it was built of stone and not of wood. Some have called this the Fifth Avenue of Chicago. So far the game is off by 30 points. This is a very serious game. If the Red Cyborgs get this right, they win. If the Green Bulls get this right, this will be one of the biggest comebacks in Vyond competition history. Here we go, final question. Chicago has a world-famous natural history museum. Although the museum has gone by a few names since it was founded, what is its name now?
Field Museum of Natural History.
That is correct. The museum can be favorably compared to the American Museum of Natural History, the Smithsonian, and the British Museum for the richness of its collections in zoology, anthropology, geology, and botany. There was a variety of names for the museum, and it dates back to the final decade of the 19th century. In the 50s and 60s, it was called the Chicago Museum of Natural History, but its name was permanently changed to the Field Museum of Natural History. Both Mr. Field and Mr. Burnham contributed to the funding for the museum. And that's the end of the challenge. It was a very close game, but with a difference of 30 points, with a score of 420 to 450, the Green Bulls win. That also means the Red Cyborgs are up for elimination.
Goal.
Take that, Red Cyborgs.
Feels good to score a completely defenseless goal.
We were only trying to help. A working clock is still wrong twice a day.
I don't think that's quite true.
You know what he means, Paul. Even winners make mistakes sometimes.
Well, we sure weren't winners this time. I thought I could glide through the competition without danger, but it looks like the nukes had to mess it up for us.
We're sorry. Don't forget, we are the only reason we won episode 2.
Vote in the poll in the description using the letter and square brackets for who you don't want to be eliminated. You heard me correctly. Vote for who you want to stay. The person with the least votes will leave the show.
Hi Dane again. Even though my story might not be super interesting to you, I decided I'll tell it anyway. So it all began when I was a baby. Exception, if you will. It was very cozy, and at that moment, I realized I was pretty content. I had everything I needed. I didn't need to complain for more. So I thought, why shout? Why even say anything? As you see, that's how I, as a small guy, never really spoke much, and blah blah blah.